Hi, Professor Store. So this is my response to Challenge 6. So my personal goal for this speech is to try not to rely super heavily on notes. I feel like notes is the one thing that can get me like on track and not ramble and not be as nervous while I'm giving the speech. So this Pecha Kucha speech will definitely be a huge challenge for me to try to not use notes and not read off of anything, just because I do get really nervous really fast. And yeah, just maintaining that eye contact with like trying to think of what I'm gonna say. And I'm definitely gonna do multiple practices during the practice speeches after speech before I do the final one, just so that way I kind of get a gist of what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it without having to memorize or read notes or things like that. My topic for the speech. So my topic for the speech is going to be about the Mothman. Now, the Mothman is super interesting to me. I used to watch this ghost hunting show on YouTube for a long time, and they did a whole episode about the Mothman, and ever since then I've always been like really interested in it for some reason. And so that's what the cryptid I chose when I saw that topic for one of the cryptids. I was like, yes, I can do the Mothman. So this will tell you a little bit about it. It was first reported in West Virginia around the 1960s, and witnesses described it as like a winged creature with glowing red eyes. That's the one thing you usually see in a lot of stories, is those like glowing red eyes. Is like they're driving at night and they see the red eyes, and then kind of things like that. They even have like a statue of the Mothman in the town. I forget the name of it. I'll have to like research more, of course, and get like all the details, but yeah, they have it. And so the legend became even more famous after the collapse of the Silver Bridge in West Virginia, which led more people to believe that it was the Mothman. It was a warning of a disaster rather than like the cause of it. So I chose the Mothman. How it's audience center. So I chose it because I'm super interested in it, and a lot of people, I did not know what Mothman was or anything like that until that video I watched. So I feel like a lot of people don't really know like the true extent of the Mothman lore and what goes behind it and everything like that. So I think instead of just talking about like a scary creature, like the Hellhound video I just watched, like it was just like a scary creature is what she kind of said. I want to explain how the legend connects to like the real historical events and local culture and things like that, and why people still in that area believe in it today. I think this makes it audience centered because it teaches something unexpected while also exploring why people are fascinated by mysteries and unexplained events, things like that. Because I mean, we all have that like natural curiosity of the unknown and things like that. But I'm not going to say that in the speech, so don't worry about that. In my introduction, I'm going to say it more. My audience centered thing is going to be more about why it connects to the cultural and the way the people do things there, based off of that Mothman cryptid. And so for my introduction, I'm going to begin with a story. I want to make it kind of memorable, kind of get it started, try to pique interest. Like when I would watch docs and things like that, documentaries, if it starts out with like a story of like, especially I watch a lot of true crime stuff. So a lot of like true crime stuff starts with like the story of what happened, and then it goes into more detail. So I kind of want to do that. For my introduction, just talking about, and really focusing on that red eyes, because that's one of the main things in the Mothman like stories and things like that, is the red eyes. So that's what I want to pinpoint in that story. My main points of the speech is going to be that the origins of the Mothman, so how it started, the first sightings, things like that. The second main point will discuss the connection between the Mothman and then the Silver Bridge collapse. And then my third main point is going to be the lasting impact of the legend, including like the festivals, the museums, the books, everything like that. And those are going to be my first 3 points. And then per the grading rubric, I must begin the story. So that was the story. Is like you're driving in the middle of the night and you see those glowing red eyes, and you know that there's not like you're about to see the Mothman and things like that. to end my presentation, I want to leave the audience thinking instead of just simply like giving them facts like the person did in the speech I watched. Just give them thinking of like, if the Mothman is real, like why is it doing all this? But if it's not real, then what could it be that's causing all these sightings and things like that? So my closing statement will be something like whether the Mothman was real, mistaken identity, or simply fear, given just a fear thing, like they saw a really big guy with and looked like they had wings. Like, one thing is certain, that sometimes like our stories, people believe will tell more about ourselves than what the monsters we chase. So maybe the first person who saw it might have saw something, and like it kind of speaks to themselves. But yeah, at this time I don't have any specific questions about the speech, but I would definitely reach out if I have any. And then for the outline part of the speech, it was really hard to fill out like the body of the outline, just because she went into the history, but then she went into the different kinds, and then towards the end she told the story. So I think that's what the body of the speech was. Now the introduction was really cool. The attention statement was like the Call of Duty supernatural stuff. And then the conclusion was kind of easy. She did that signal eating of "as I wrap up," which was kind of easy to see that, oh, she's ending the speech. So what I did like was her body language. She used her hands. She pointed to her back when talking about the hellhound that had spikes on its back and things like that. And I really did like the slides she used. Some of the slides that she used were like, sometimes they weren't the pictures of the hellhounds, it was more like a reaction picture or something like that, which I really enjoyed, because the way she timed when she said it to when the slide popped up was really, really cool. Something I didn't like was that there wasn't that many transitions. She kind of jumped around a lot. And so that's what made it hard for me to write out the body, because I didn't know. It was like she's talked about history and then the different types and then the story. Towards the end, when I was like trying to fill it out, it made more sense, but like during the speech I couldn't really make sense of it all. And then some things that I did not like was there was not transitions. And then the next thing was, I was kind of unsure about the listener relevance, because she just said this is interesting for people who are into mythology, and that was it. And I'm kind of interested in mythology, but more like, I don't know, just maybe changing that a little bit to something like she did at the end with like the story, like maybe doing a different story there was, or like imagine seeing this and things like that. I feel like would be a little bit better. More transitions is something I would fix. And then, sorry, I'm like trying to read what I kind of like wrote down while I was listening to the video. And then some things I would like to copy is her body language. I know I kind of stand there and not move, so I want to move more, things like that. And then the way she changed her voice in the video as well was really, really cool. Like she upped her voice on some and then lowered it in some other points, so I would like to copy that as well. And then some of the slides, like adding those reaction slides, were really cool, and so I was like, maybe I can try to see if I can find some screenshots from the video I watched when I first got into the Mothman kind of lore and things like that, and include that, like the reactions from there. So yeah, that is oh, and her timing was really cohesive with the slides. So yeah, that is what I have for my speech, and I'm very excited to do it.